Amanda was only 13 when she and her younger brother Daniel were brought to the Sinclair's children's home in Ferrin, Utah. They had lost both their parents, and having no other relatives who lived anywhere nearby, or more so, anyone who wanted to take their responsibility, Amanda and Daniel eventually found their way here. At the time, the siblings didn't refuse or object to the decision. They didn't have much choice either. But all they wanted was not to be separated. The Sinclair Children's Home was huge. It was a grand house with about 30 other children from all ages, and around 10 caretakers who lived with them, and a few more who came and went. The house was quite old, and the amenities were rustic and outdated, but everyone made the best with what they had. The house was divided into a girls' section and a boys' section, though they all attended classes together. Some of the caretakers were nice, and some were rude, which often made some of the children consider running away. But the caretakers at Sinclair's were very strict about one specific rule: never to go near or even think about leaving the boundaries of the house. Despite the restriction, in no way did it ever get dingy or crowded living in the Sinclair's house. It was spacious. There was an area marked out for children to play behind the house, and the house itself was built on a few acres of land around which was a tall boundary stood to keep all intruders out and all members in. But why was there such strict rules on leaving the premises of the Sinclair's children's home? Of course there were caretakers coming and leaving. Well, first off, to reach the Sinclair's house from the closest part of Ferrin meant you had to drive through a portion of the vast forest that surrounded it, the Manti La Salle Forest. But over the years of living in the Sinclair's house, Amanda came to realize there was much more to the forest that surrounded it. A secret that everyone wanted to hide, something that they wanted to stay away from. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Meridew, it won't happen again. I hope you remember that next time. Now let's go." "Mrs. Meridew, please. Just one more chance." What's going to happen to him? He's being taken to the Red Room. You don't want to go to the Red Room. But what did he do? Are the caretakers here always this strict? Shh, you don't want them to hear you. They're usually nice, but you know about the rule crossing the boundary. Thomas threw the ball over and then he got caught sneaking out to get it. That's it? What's the big deal about it anyway? I can hear him crying from here. Well, here's what I know. A long time ago, some children went missing out in the forest. Did they sneak out as well? No, the Sinclair's house wasn't always like this. About 12 years ago, there weren't any boundaries and the Sinclair's property stretched out into the forest. Caretakers used to take children out by the lake for recreational activities and stuff, towards the east side, where there were cabins and boats. But one day, some of the children ventured out by themselves, and then they were never found. And a year after that, when a sudden wildfire ruined much of the forest in that area and the cabin was burnt down, if there was any clue to where they had gone, it's erased now. People say the forests are cursed. Amanda was about 15 when she learned of the strange rumors. She had always been quite mature, acting as a guardian for her little brother, more than she wanted to know the secrets, if there was any. Her efforts went in watching over Daniel and making sure he didn't get into any trouble. It was a bit tough at times, and Daniel often got scolded and disciplined by the teachers, but it was never unreasonably. "Daniel, where are you going? Who knows what's in there? Spiders? Rats?" "This is my secret hiding place." "Are you sure it's safe? What if there's a snake coiled up in there?" "Stop being a sissy. There's a crack in the wood panels you can see outside into the backyard, and you can get away if you didn't do your homework too. You're always up to mischief, aren't you? Why don't you just finish your homework? Come on, I'll help you." And Daniel often tried to sneak out and away from doing chores and studies. He climbed up in the tree in the backyard and tried to escape the eyes of the caretakers, but no one knew Daniel as good as Amanda knew him. "What were you doing up there?" "I was just... I want the truth." "I was trying to look over the wall. Don't you want to know what's on the other side? Why don't we go and see? We'll be back before anyone finds out." "Don't even think about it, Daniel." Amanda was a bright student. She was well behaved and one of the favorites of the caretakers and teachers there. And it was because of her that Daniel got some of the star student privileges, though in no way did he deserve it. Come about 5 years since they first came, Amanda graduated and got a job in Ferrin as a private tutor to a wealthy family. She was offered a quarter there and moved out of the Sinclair's house. Finally, now we can leave. Amanda, take me with you. I don't want to stay here. Daniel, don't you think you should graduate first? You still have 2 years left. There are more schools in town. We just needed a place to stay. It's like we've been trapped here for 5 years now. Please, Amanda, please. Daniel, I wish I could take you, but I don't even have a place of my own yet. I've been saving money. Let me arrange a place and then I promise I'll come back to take you. Daniel was thrilled when Amanda promised to take him with her. He told all of his closest friends, and he even started planning about the things he would do once he was out. He almost forgot he would be leaving this place forever. Wasn't there anything he wanted to do before he left? Of course there was. I'm going to solve this mystery. You're going to go into the forest? Are you crazy? What if you get caught? Won't matter, not like I'm staying here anyway. Well, you're on your own then. We're not taking chances. So many years into staying at the Sinclairs, Daniel had already planned out how to cross the boundary. Now it was actually time to do it. He gathered some tools, flashlights, knives, and sneaked out near dawn to find answers. What was in the forest here? How did those children go missing? What was it that the staff was so scared about? Here you go, Amanda. It's 2 months' pay in advance. Thank you so much, Mrs. Simmons. Meanwhile, Amanda was trying her best to get a place of her own. When she told Mrs. Simmons, the woman she worked for, about her situation, Mrs. Simmons offered to help her out by giving her a loan and helping her find a place in town. It was in just weeks that Amanda moved into a small apartment, and the first thing next month, she traveled back to the Sinclair's house to bring Daniel. Where's Daniel, Mrs. Thompson? Dear, I don't know how to tell you this. Daniel is missing. Daniel didn't return. It had been days since he had been missing. On Amanda's insistence, the caretakers reluctantly sent men out into the forest to search for him. But they returned saying they couldn't find him or even a clue of where he might be. Others started to rumor Daniel ran away to the city he had always wanted to leave. All these years, Amanda didn't pay heed to the rumors and the strange incidents. Not wanting to go into the forest was more because she didn't want to break any rules. If not anything, there were wild animals. But now Amanda had to know. Amanda had to bring her brother back. She began investigating the strange occurrences of those who had gone out before. Of course, Daniel couldn't have been the first one, but what she discovered only made her more nervous. Dear, things used to be so jolly in the Sinclair's house before those kids went missing. We had truly thought we would eventually find them. We had taught them everything just in case this ever did happen. But when people were sent out to search in the forest, they too didn't return. It was since then that the Sinclairs put up the boundaries and made the rule not to allow anyone. To be honest, Amanda, no one had searched the forest for Daniel. It was a lie to avoid danger themselves. And perhaps you should let it go too. No, Mrs. Thompson. I'm the only person he has. How can I give up on him? Amanda, try to be reasonable. Maybe he's... No, I'm going to find him. No one knew what was in the forest. It was more fear of the unseen that frightened everyone. So Amanda prepared herself for anything that would come her way, from attire to gadgets and tools. She left early the next morning. She wanted the most time to search the forest while the sun was out. As she walked, sweat trickled down her forehead. Patches of sunlight seeped through the leaves that covered the skies above her. She was headed towards the east side. Knowing Daniel, he would have gone to check out the ruins. However, soon came the time for the sun to set. And not only did Amanda not find anything, she didn't even find any reminiscence of a cabin or any inhabitants ever being here. The forest may have regrown over the past 18 years, but the cabin? There should have been some sign, anything. The skies were getting dark. Amanda sat down by a tree and drank some water. She took out her flashlight and tapped it on her hands, hopelessly looking out around her to spot nothing. Perhaps she should start a fire and make her tent. Amanda gathered some twigs and took out her matches. The just as she was to strike, she suddenly caught sight of something move far in the distance. She widened her eyes as she ran towards it. Was it Daniel? Had he gotten lost out here? She ran as fast as she could, leaving behind everything and calling out, "Daniel! Daniel!" Until she suddenly splashed into water under her feet. She had reached the lake. And the figure was standing there on the other side of the bank. Amanda felt a sudden chill. The weather was cool and breezy. The waters of the lake were covered in a dense fog. This was the place she was searching for. The lake was here, but it wasn't just a lake. Amanda turned around again, frozen to see everything looking different. The forests around her were different. The cabin now stood tall. There were boats tied by the bank. It almost seemed as if she had somehow traveled in time. She turned back around, startled to see the dark, shadowy being hovering over the waters, coming closer to her. She stumbled back as her heart beat fast in her chest, horrified to see. This was no man, no person. It was something else, coming closer and closer to her. What was this thing? Amanda stepped back, ready to flee. When she felt a touch behind her, she turned to see a child, a young boy she recognized. It was Daniel, but he was 11. Daniel, where are we? What is happening? I found it, Amanda, but you shouldn't have come to find me. Death lurks in this forest. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.